Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us for another episode of the PHNX Suns podcast, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcast, and leave us a 5-star
Up the energy!
What? I'm a little sleepy today, so we have brought in Shane Diefenbach to help make sure the vibes stay up.
The ultimate hype man.
The ultimate hype man. So, what's up, guys? How you feeling?
Good.
You guys good?
Feels like the longest week ever.
It does.
And I don't know why.
And my beanie's all wonky feeling today. Like, it's just not sitting on my head correctly. Like, today is a mess.
I'm already sick of freaking preseason.
But at least we beat the
Lindsay,
Lakers.
your beanie looks great. The vibes are immaculate. Energy is high.
Heyo.
What do you got, Saul?
I don't really have anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with Lindsay's beanie. I don't know what she's talking about. Sometimes it just doesn't feel right.
It
All
does.
right.
I get that.
There's only one thing you can say in this kind of situation. Ahoy, hoy. No, not time for that. No. All right.
Also,
and just a little bit.
Pugs and hugs. I don't know what you're talking about. My DMs. I looked at my DMs. I didn't see anything. So
Try
Sorry.
again? I don't know. Okay, let's talk about some basketball. The Suns beat the Lakers last night in their second preseason game. What?
Feel that juice, baby.
Let's talk
go.
about some basketball.
Let's talk about basketball.
I'm trying.
Chelsea is on one right now.
I got a little crick in my neck, and it's just killing all the vibes. I feel like it's a lot of pain.
Shane, get in here and give a back rub.
Okay.
We need
Let's try this
If you turn
again.
your head hard enough, you'll feel the vibes go right down the middle of your leg.
I would prefer not. Okay, ready? We'll try one more time. Let's talk about some basketball, everybody.
Yeah!
Woo! Preseason. Turn me up.
The Suns beat the Lakers last night in their second preseason game, 119-115. Unfortunately, we did see some injuries to Cam Johnson and Cam Payne. But before we get into all of that, let's talk about all the other stuff. What are some of the biggest takeaways for you guys from this one?
That it's preseason. For some reason, LeBron tried really hard. Well, it seemed like the Suns took the kind of approach that I do in the gym, half-ass it until you kind of break a sweat and then quit.
Jock Landale.
Jock Landale looked great.
Jock Landale looks like he might be a bona fide part of the rotation, which is not something that I think I expected coming in. I think he's a nice little hybrid between what Dario brings to the table and Bismack, and the players really seem to like him a lot. And there's something about him that is tracking, and I think it's tracking in a different way than the way like Frank Kaminsky and other guys that, my guy over here has fallen in love with. I think this guy can actually be a benefit to this team in a more efficient and more in a longer sense.
Consistently.
Espo, you finally hit.
Hey, I mean,
Your gambles finally hit.
all praise our new king, Jacques Landale. Join me in Landale's Landing. Look, I get it. It's preseason, but what struck me was the energy, the infectiousness of that energy for him. I mean, 14 points in 15 minutes, 7 boards, 2 assists. I mean, he shot well, 5 of 8, 2 of 4 from downtown. I like what he's bringing to the table. I thought Monty was kind of doing lip service, maybe trying to motivate Biz or Dario originally where they were talking Jock up, but it's pretty obvious he's showing it in practice, and it's translated. It definitely last night you saw flashes of it in the first game against the 36ers. This is the kind of thing that carries over. This is why preseason is important. As much as we malign some of it, a guy like Jock can come out and prove himself and earn that backup spot and become an important part of a bench, which we already know is a major weakness for this team. If he can become a key component and give a little bit of offense to that bench, that's hugely valuable, where you didn't really expect that from Bismack, and you had no clue what you were going to get from Dario. But what stood out to me was with Jock moving into that backup center position, you saw Dario get almost all of his minutes at power forward. And,
which was another thing we heard from training camp.
Yeah, and it was interesting. I feel like they're looking at him as, Dario, now you have to plug the hole, at least until some moves made, that is left by Jae.
Well, also Cam got injured.
Yeah, but even the first substitution when it came to power forward was Dario. So I get that Cam was out, but that was the first move, was to go to him anyways. So that I think we're going to see a lot of that use until either Dario proves he can handle it defensively, because offensively we know what we're going to get from Dario, but can he handle playing the 4 and having to guard some guys on the perimeter on defense?
I also will go ahead and address the giant ass elephant in the room because everybody just refuses to let it go. And
Landry.
Yeah,
Landry,
I was getting hit up on Twitter. Chelsea was hitting me up, and it's all good. It's all good. But listen, 35 points in a regular season game. I mean, it could have been preseason, but I just don't think he's getting enough run for that. But yeah, 35 points. His career high's 30. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't think he's ever going to touch 35.
I don't know,
30,
man.
But
can we at least talk about that? It's encouraging that he went 5 from 5
I will
to
say
7
this.
from
Super
I will
encouraging.
say that the way he was moving around the floor, what did I say? I said, like, if he could just slow himself down, he's going to be a much more efficient shooter and scorer, and that's exactly what I could tell from his jump shots so far, at least in game 2. He just seemed like he was just slowing the hell down, and that's what you want to see. Like,
and you had pointed that out multiple times last season,
so
that it
many
was just
times.
like, yo, it's just too chaotic. Like,
Yeah.
just take a break and move appropriately.
he's a good shooter when he just takes his time, but the problem is like it just seemed like he was just going too fast for himself, and that happens sometimes. It usually happens with younger players, not somebody that's been in the league 4, 5, 6 years, but it happens with a new team, and so hopefully he's adjusted to that and he can trust himself, and he'll be an actual contributor on the offensive side this year. Because I thought defensively last year he was fine. He played hard. He was almost was even a little bit of a pest at times, but offensively we need to see more.
The biggest thing that we need to see from Landry is we saw flashes of this type of Landry last year, but we need to see it on a more
I never saw
consistent and
these
regular
flashes.
basis. Like, it doesn't have to be every single game, because again, you're not our main guy, but it would be nice if 3 out of 5 we could rely on this being who you are.
He needs to shoot 38 to 40% from deep. I think that's his role here. Hit 3-pointers off the bench. That's your role, Landry. So if you got to find a way to hit 38 to 40% of your threes to be a guy that's worthy of the contract you have, and also an effective role player on this team.
And Dwayne Washington got some run.
Wait, hold on. Before Dwayne, I do have a funny story. Because let us revel in this Landry Shamitness, Saul. Let us have this.
No.
Because last night I literally had friends who watched the show texting me like, how many points was it again for Saul and Landry's bet? And I was like, it's 35. And they're like, okay, and what does he have to do? And I was like, whatever the chat decides, that's not permanently body altering.
Yeah. I will also say this. I do have a little caveat to this.
Hey, now you can't go changing the rules multiple times.
I'm trying to stay married, and my wife was like, no, they can't touch the beard. So I'm sorry.
Can we have it dye darker?
Sure.
Okay.
Can we dye it like purple?
Sure, you can dye it. That's fine.
Just don't shave it.
You just can't shave it.
All right. That's
okay,
fair.
well, either way, there's like 18 different options in my messages right now from people being
yeah?
what about this? And one of them did
Oh.
have to do with the beard.
Are
What
any of the-
about this? So
Give me some ideas.
Are any of these people with access to Monty? Because we need to
No.
get him to play 48 minutes in the final preseason game and just try to go for the 35.
okay, so a couple of the options.
Let's
Let me
go.
see if I can find
I'm
this.
interested in this now.
So the normal things that I feel like you get kind of thrown out, like a full body wax, right?
Yeah.
While it would be funny, I feel like it could be a little awkward content wise.
Yeah, I don't want the
what I mean?
video of that.
Like,
I don't want
like,
How do
it
we
just-
prove that?
Yeah. This one was super weird, but grow out his toenails for the rest of the year. I don't want to see
Ew.
your feet either.
Oh,
So
no.
What the
That's
fuck is
just
wrong with these people?
gross.
they're trying to come up with something really gross for you
I
to
mean,
have to do.
damn, man. I'm not trying to shank my own toes.
We could probably sell pictures of those for money.
And then
though.
this one was start a Landry Shamet fan Twitter account, and you have to post on it every day until he drops another 30.
I like that.
Ooh.
I like that.
Wait till he posts another 35.
I like
Or
that.
the season ends. I
Okay,
think we put an
season
ending
ends,
date
fine,
on
yeah.
it.
Jesus Christ.
But I don't know if that
I'll be on
was
that
enough.
thing for like years.
I don't know
oh
if
my
that
God.
is enough because honestly, knowing you, I feel like you would forget like 90% of the days.
No, I would do it. I would just auto fucking tweet that
But I
shit.
feel like,
schedule
no,
it
see,
out.
that's the thing. I feel like if it was a tweet, it would have
Tweet
to be
deck.
your
Gotcha.
face every day. You'd have to be like, I love Landry Shamet. Let's go Landry Shamet. Like it'd have to be a different video every day on the account.
With the newspaper of said days, you see the date.
All right.
But it was just super. I mean, everyone's they're just throwing out the weirdest things to like mess with you
I love
because
that
that's the whole purpose of this.
I love that that's what your friends are texting you
Right.
about. How do we get that Saul guy really riled up with one of these things he has to do?
Well, because we have to come up with something really good. If this happens, are you kidding me?
While Capitan said, have Saul make birthday posts for all lazy sports.
There you go.
How about we make you wear a Landry Shamet jersey on every show for the rest
Every
of the
single
season?
show.
I don't give a shit about that. Yeah, it's fine.
Backwards.
Okay.
So you see the
Oh,
Shamet.
hello has Saul hates hugs. Do the hugs.
The 35 hugs from 35 people for 35
Random
seconds.
people.
No,
It
we're
had to
not
be
doing
random
35
people.
seconds. I'm not doing 35 seconds. Also, you're assuming that random people even want a hug from me.
Listen, I
Like,
can
I'm just supposed to roam
guarantee
the
you,
streets
I can
and be like,
convince
"Well,
35
can I
people to give you a
hug?
random
Can I
hug.
give you a hug?
I
Can I
can
give
make
you
it
a hug?
happen.
That's like a good way to get canceled.
It's really, yeah, it's real creepy. Nobody wants that shit.
All right, let's move on. Your boy Dwayne Washington Jr. finally saw some minutes in this one. Honestly, like not to jump ahead a little bit, but I kind of think the whole Cam's leaving the game maybe forced this to happen. I don't know
Yeah.
that it was gonna happen had we did not lost 3 players at a certain point in
Well,
time in this
who
game.
else are you playing at point guard at that point with Payne out, and you know you're not going to play Chris Paul major minutes in a preseason game? That's a big reason why we saw Dwayne Washington out there.
But what did you guys think of him? We had a couple comments. Somebody saying that he looked decent. Another person said he looked raw. Another one said he looked promising.
He looked like a guy that deserves more preseason minutes. Is the best way I could put it. You know,
Okay.
he didn't do anything egregiously bad. He didn't do anything, amazingly awesome. Like he's a two-way player for a reason. I just want to see him get more minutes and be able to showcase what he potentially could do in, a break glass in case of an emergency situation.
Yeah, I mean, you can't read into 8 minutes. He was 0 for 5 from the floor with 4 fouls, but that's a guy that needs to get in rhythm. Like 8 minutes is nothing.
Yeah.
With a team that's new to you, getting out there with guys you've never run with outside of practice. Yeah, he needs these minutes in the preseason again to find out if you have anything there. That's what this preseason's for. You're not learning anything other than that. Good talk.
All right.
I said something, you said something, and then we handed it off to Chelsea. She sat there like she did the no look pass, except she didn't even look and she didn't even pass. She just looked over here like, well, okay.
She was just waiting for Gerald to respond.
My
I
God,
was.
you're the point guard.
I was.
Come on.
Yeah, but I'm playing like year 2 campaign right now.
Oh,
It's not my fault.
Oh.
Maybe I'll be in mid-season form
Damn.
tomorrow, but today ain't the day.
She came.
y'all.
She shammed at us.
Okay, let's talk about the Cams. So the Suns shared last
Cam.
night that Cam Johnson suffered a right thumb sprain and that Cam Payne suffered a right finger sprain. They did not specify which finger for Cam Payne, but they didn't return to the game. And it could have just been precaution. It could be something a little more serious. Where are you guys kind of feeling about this? Like,
Look,
how concerned are you, or are you concerned?
we've all played ball, and you sprain fingers sometimes, you jam fingers. They both look pretty routine. So unless we find out tomorrow from Monty somebody fractured something, this is nothing. It's a simple, hey, we're going to take him out as precaution.
Yeah, it's too hard. I mean, yet last year when Chris Paul threw that pass and he hurt his thumb, we didn't know what the extent of that was going to be. He didn't come back in that game, and then it ended up being a 6-week injury. Like, it could be that, or it could be something, just like you said, a jam finger. So it's kind of hard to speculate on that.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they're going to take the precautions in preseason just to make sure that they're not putting their players in extra risk or causing further damage. So, yeah.
Out of the two, Cam Payne looked like he was in more pain than Cam Johnson.
It was the other way around. Cam Payne looked like he was just like, what the fuck?
Well, then he was standing on the sideline at one point as they were running down the court holding his hand. I don't know. Again, neither of us are doctors. None of us know what's going on. I mean, I've got bent fingers from playing, and I never played seriously.
So I have a broken bone still to this day because James Bacon, who used to play for ASU, was running down this way. There was a loose ball. I dove for it, and my finger went right into his calf.
Oh.
I even have it on video where my finger's just like sitting like this. And I was like, oh, and I went over to my buddy, Tony, and I was like, hey, can you pop this out? And he was like, ah, he just freaked out. I ran the other way. I was like, thanks, guy. Appreciate it. So I popped it back in myself. I mean, It hurt, but I still played the next game because I'm a fucking, sorry.
Well, yeah.
Different story.
You know what the best, the best physical altercation in the game, though, that could have led to injury was Chris Paul hip checking Pat Bev. I'm not even.
Sorry, that was really funny.
It's nice that Chelsea finally woke up over here, isn't it? It's good.
If I can make Lindsay laugh once a day, I consider it a big win.
Anytime we can break her on
Also,
this show.
Javier in the chat said I got stung by a jellyfish. I think the Cams will be okay.
That's not it. True.
Ay vey. Sorry, Espo. Keep going.
I got nothing.
He forgot.
Chris Paul hip checked Pat Bev, and Pat Bev acted like a little bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Also, like, why is
Didn't Chris Paul get called for a foul on that too?
No, he
Was
didn't
it a
care.
different one?
I think it was a different one.
how come Chris Melton is coming for your throat all of a sudden?
Oh, she always does.
Does she?
Yeah,
I didn't
she
know.
She
says
does.
no. Espo does not know what's going on.
Thanks, Chris.
Do any of us right now?
Hey, we sat down and we're like, oh, there's 2 minutes to the show. Like, it's been a day, Chris.
Listen,
back off.
I'm not worried, right? Like,
not worried. Okay, so you're
a
worried.
little bit of concern here because you just don't know, right? Like you said with the Chris Paul thing last year, and then I saw people sharing on Twitter last night that a sprained finger could be 4 weeks. Sort of like a time frame
Let me say
as
this.
far as coming back. So I'm not concerned, but I understand that it also could be nothing.
Let me say this. I mean, if it's your shooting hand, that's one thing, and that could play a factor. And it depends on what finger it is, too. But, damn, a sprained finger costing you 4 weeks? Nah, son. Nah, I'm not even trying to hear that.
The thing that's concerning isn't the fact that these guys may have minor injuries. It's the reality that there's not enough depth on this roster to sustain 2 injuries from anybody that's a major rotation player. And we said the bench was bad, but you start losing guys like that where you lose a starter, so Dario or Torrey Craig or somebody's gonna have to move in to the starting lineup, and then you lose your backup point guard, who we already think probably should be the 3rd string point guard. That's the problem here. This team can't sustain this at any point during the year.
Mm-hmm. So the Suns are off today, which is why we don't have an update from the team on the Cams, but they should be practicing again tomorrow. So if they are, we'll obviously talk with them and get you guys as much of an update as they're willing to share on that one. So stay tuned. We'll keep you posted.
Hello makes a good point. Oh, there's depth. It's just not good depth. That's fair.
Facts. Espo, you did have a bone to pick with last night's game.
Oh my God.
A specific.
There's a couple bones. They're related here. So watching the game, NBA TV, we didn't have, our guys, and it wasn't a national broadcast. We got the pleasure of having to listen to the Lakers broadcast. And God, was it annoying. And not just because, I hate everything LA, but the announcer was acting as if LeBron James was in Game 7 of the finals. Oh, my God, the king, he's amazing. 7 of 8 from the floor. Oh, and losing his freaking mind. If he had a heart monitor on him, he was spiking it like crazy. He was nuts about it. And then a particular play, Mikal Bridges goes up for a dunk, and if we watch the footage, and we have it here, it looks like he dunks it into the rim. Not that LeBron gets a chase down block. They were acting like it was the finals chase down block, and it really just looked like Mikal mistimed his jump and hit the ball into the rim, and rather than LeBron getting some amazing chase down block. It was the whole night was annoying, and that kind of capped it off for me. Was just, oh my God, the amazing chase down block for LeBron James, the king. And you're like, okay, calm the fuck down.
They're just trying to get in a mid-season form.
I'm like, you're about to lose your 11th straight game against the Suns, including preseason. Like, what's this excitement right now? I just didn't get it.
I mean, it's like the excitement that I have right now. You just got to find it sometimes. You know
Lindsay,
what I mean?
you sound exactly like that Lakers guy.
You just got to find it sometimes. But yeah, so thankfully, though, sooner rather than later, we'll get our guys back on the broadcast and we won't have to deal with anything of that sort.
It's a dry heat.
Shocker. Shocker, the local broadcast didn't show a game because they had to show a replay of the D-backs game?
No, they had to drive to Vegas and to broadcast it. You can't do that.
Oh,
that's expensive. So
yeah.
They would have flown. Right?
I'm saying nobody from the Suns.
I know.
It was facetious.
But still,
the TV crew didn't go.
But if they had gone, they would have flown,
No.
right? Like,
no, they would have had to take Greyhound. Yeah, Lindsay, they would have been on the team flight. It was a joke. Is Gerald here? Because that's usually Gerald's role when I make a joke.
It is true. He does fall for everything that Espo says.
oh my God.
They would have had to drive? That's like 5 hours with the equipment? Really?
So you know what would help out a lot there, Linz? So if you just had a nice cold beverage in your hand.
I know. It probably would.
Not while driving to Vegas. Though,
Not while
just
driving
here.
to Vegas. But Four Peaks would be wonderful right now. Four Peaks or OGs at this point. Like, I feel like anything at this point would help because I am just like at the bottom of the barrel. But if you guys are in need of a little spice in your life, Four Peaks is a great option
Man,
for you
it
guys.
would be fantastic if we could get some Four Peaks on the set at some point. That would be awesome.
Calling
wouldn't
Shane Deep.
Wouldn't it be cool? Like, it would be so awesome if we could get just a nice couple cold
Just
beverages
cold
to just
beers,
wash
just a
down
few
this slow
things.
start. It would be so awesome.
You know,
We look like the Sun starters.
If only we had that ability to have that happen. That would be just.
If only the fridge were an eye shot here.
If
Oh, wait.
If only.
Breaking news, everybody. We're finally getting the Four Peaks beer that we've been asking for. Thank you, Shane Diefenbach. Yay!
Oh, don't clap yet. It isn't here yet.
I
If
can
you guys
see
want
it.
to pick up some Four Peaks beer, you can do that on your way home from work or for whatever kind of fun parties or events you have throughout the weekends. They're available at most local retailers,
thank you.
or you can
Salute.
head on
Hey.
down to
Pumpkin
your Four
porter.
Peaks Brewery. We also have some pretty cool events in the works with our friends over at Four Peaks, so stay tuned for more information. Just a reminder, you do have to be 21 years or older, and we ask that you enjoy responsibly.
You know what else you need to be 21 years or older for?
Some OGs.
Hey!
Brr, 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 brr.
I'm just throwing lobs left and right.
Shane,
So-
where's the OGs?
That's not happening.
I think what I really desperately need to do tonight is to try one of the OG's Sleep Edition
Why
gummies.
haven't you done that yet?
Because I'm nervous.
Oh my
I'm not gonna
gosh.
lie.
You
I'm
got
a
a free
little
bag.
nervous. I
Nervous that
know.
you're going to sleep too well? Like,
oh my God.
come on.
It knocks me straight the F
It's
out.
nice.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do tonight
So
because
nice.
I just, like I said, this week has been a week, and I feel like I need something that will put me to sleep, like the sleep you had earlier this week, where you woke up and you just like no dreams, no nothing, didn't remember a single thing, but I'm rested.
Also, doesn't Max look like he just went golfing in Naples, Florida with all the old people?
Leave Max alone. I've got something you can do if you're not comfortable with the OGs for the night and you want to wait till like a Friday so you got the weekend. Just listen to the beginning of the show. That should take care of it.
Oh, ouch. Well, if you guys need a good night's sleep too, and you don't want to listen to the beginning of this show again, you could try OG's Sleep Edition gummies. It's a 2-to-1 THC to CBN ratio gummy, and CBN is a compound that helps specifically with falling and staying asleep, so you can get a really good night's rest. We highly recommend you check out OG's online at ogsbrands.com. You can find them on Instagram at ogsbrands or at your local dispensary, but you must be 21 years or older to purchase.
If you take an OGs with CBN, is that considered a down?
I don't know. You tell me.
Because you're going to be laying down.
I don't know.
Right?
Look, I gotta say the Girthlings have brought it today. Connor says she'd sleep 16 hours instead of 12, guys. And Eli says Lindsay's going to take too many OGs and be on the wire taking the shoes down. So
It's true.
Listen, all I'm saying is if I take an OGs tonight and you don't hear from me until 11 tomorrow, just know it's not my fault.
Okay.
It's
we don't
not
expect
my
to hear
fault.
from you until 11.
Well,
so.
usually it's like 9:30
Okay,
10, but
okay.
if you don't hear from me till 11 or 11:30, just know it is not my fault.
No problem.
Okay?
Jose is very adamant and one of our faithful followers, and he's very passionate about his sports. He says the best thing to do is get everything you need done so that you need anything you
Get
need
everything
done
you
that
need done taken care
then
of.
take it. OGs will give you wings of relaxation.
There you go.
Wings of relaxation.
Wings of
Cool band name.
Exactly, yes.
Great band name. So we did get a few screenshots that I want us to take a peek at from last night. First up, there was this really precious moment of a little tiny baby Suns fan coming up to DA and Book on the bench. He got himself a fist bump. He got himself a hug. This was super cute.
It's so cute, but run it back. And if you see in the background, there's Cole walking behind the bench. That's what I noticed. Cole Mickelson is one of the best guys out there. He does such a great job
Player relations.
for Suns, PR and player relations. But that's the Grim Reaper if you see him coming towards your kid, because he's coming to stop the fun. I promise you that. So that's all I saw, and I just laughed. I was like, oh, Cole.
But I thought that was a really cute moment. He definitely wasn't supposed to be doing that. That's for sure.
No.
But I'm glad that the players didn't ignore him. It's preseason. Like, you guys aren't, like, you're not paying that much attention to this game. You don't care that much about it. Let's be honest.
Also, nobody's going to stop a kid.
Give a kid a fist bump.
That's not true. I saw kids stopped courtside before, so I'm glad it didn't happen here. I just texted Cole to ask him if that's what he was on a mission to go do.
He's like,
to break it up.
damn it,
I'm
yes.
like, leave me alone, Espo. It's not my fault. I have to do what I have to do.
Why don't you give me a look?
Look, what it said to me was, I mean, it is pretty obvious that the vibes are just shit.
Yeah.
I mean, there was smiling, there was laughing, and there was fist bumping. That's the signs of complete and utter breakdown.
To be fair, somebody had to reverse the jinx.
This is true.
Because the fist bump baby took all of the mojo out of the Suns, and it was never the same. So maybe the kid's hug has reinvigorated and re-implemented the mojo
powers.
to the Suns, and we'll be good.
We'll have to do as a Pruder film breakdown of the original fist bump and this and see if it fixes it. By the way, Cole responded. Actually, I was walking by and then making sure our video guy was capturing it. So suck it, Brookman. He was not trying to kill the fun.
Like,
he was trying to make sure we all saw it.
He's watching the show
Thank
right
you,
now.
Cole.
That's why.
Thank you, Cole. One of my favorite guys.
I love
over
Cole.
Cole's
Cole's like
great.
he's one of the OGs. Man.
That's fantastic. Okay, up next. Rob Perez posted a video from last night's game with the caption, "Here is the NBA's new bench celebration encroachment rule being enforced on Thomas Bryant." So we have the video here. This one's kind of a bummer, right? So Bryant came out a few feet off the bench during a celebration, and he got called for it. And then I'm saying it's a bummer for the rule, not the specific player.
I don't care that it's the Lakers. So stay on the sideline and cheer.
Okay.
Like, I mean, why is it that hard to not step two foot onto the court?
Hey,
like,
at least it was just a tech and not a 1-game suspension.
exactly. Like, the NBA will be really hard on it when it's, our guys stepping out there. But, like, just give me a break. Stay there and cheer. Alan Williams was fantastic at never going on the court and cheering from the sidelines. Just don't step on the court.
Well, the other thing is like,
I think it's lame.
well, it might be lame because it's just one guy. But the problem is like the Mavericks,
Yes.
like the whole fucking team jumped on the
Okay.
court all at the same time for every fucking bucket. It was obnoxious and it was over the top. And that's why they implemented this rule, was because of the Mavericks last year in that series.
Right, and I get that. And I do understand having to implement a rule when it becomes way too far. When you take it too far, literally, and you're on the court for a celebration and you are screwing up with the flow of the game, I get that. But like one single player taking 2 steps forward, like
But it's the
at some point in time, you have to understand, like that's something that everyone wants.
But also,
How much more are people inclined to share and love bench reactions? We literally have a bench camera now in the NBA, basically, because people want to see that stuff. Don't kill it.
I don't care if you react, just don't step on the court. And the reason you do this in preseason, even for something that's not that egregious,
I know.
is because you have to enforce those rules early. Just like every time there's a new rule on the court, they call it excessively in the preseason because you're trying to train everybody to learn the new rule, right? So it's imperative you call it in the preseason.
Hello's right. Like Rick James, it's a habitual line stepper. Can't have it. Let's go.
Brian said, in what other sport are you able to step on the court? Well, in other sports, I feel like you have more space too.
No. In football, they have a sideline warning every fucking time when players get close to the sideline because the refs need to run up
Yeah,
and down the
but
court.
there's
So
more space behind them. In basketball, where
Yeah,
your
but-
bench is, you don't have space anywhere. You have
Stand up
this
and
little
do
box.
this. Like, it's not that
But
tough.
also, if you go to the back where all the room is, you're not going to get seen on TV. So what's the point of that? That's why the players always want to get close to the field. The players are on the court. Like, they're basically right there. Like, they don't need to go anywhere. Just stand up, do your stupid shit, go to the baseline. You got all the room. You'll be fine.
Okay, and Connor also brings up a good point. The NFL, no fun league. We don't want the NBA to turn into that.
Okay, I've got a way we can fix it. We put a little stage in on the baseline. They can go up there and do whatever routine they want to cheer on their fans.
It's also like, listen, it's the NBA, and I don't know about you guys, but every time, I mean, I love Rucker Park and I love the basketball tournaments that they run out there, and just the legendary status of that event. However, when everybody is huddled along those sidelines, like right on top, like you see the Kevin Durant video from several years back, it gives me anxiety because I'm like, he hits a jumper, takes one step back, he's stepping on somebody's foot. Like, you never know what's going to happen through the context of a game. Those players need to back off and just stay on the sideline. He doesn't need to get on the court.
And what this does to me and says to me is get more creative with what you can do on the sideline. Get one of your guys on your shoulders, celebrate more. Like, don't walk on the court. Get more creative on the sideline. It's
Really,
an opportunity
Esmo?
for that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Have some foam fingers hidden under the bench and do these, Get creative.
Brian, when I said no fun league, I wasn't talking about the players or the sport. I'm talking more so the league. The league always has rules that make things a little not
Yeah,
so
they used to
fun.
not allow end zone celebrations at
They
all.
also used to not allow teams to share any highlights, and like they would crack down on fans sharing things
they still
from
do
games.
that.
And that's I'm not going to go too far into it, but we're not talking about specific players or the actual sport itself. We're talking about the league and all the rules. That's all I'm saying.
By the way, Jay in the chat, no, not really. I don't think they should get on each other's shoulders. It was sarcasm.
Like, I understand your guys' perspective here, and I do agree there has to be a limit to it. And I understand that during preseason, probably the beginning of the regular season, are going to be much more whistle happy around this new rule because they have to set a precedence. I get that. But I hope that it's not something that's like to the point where we get into the playoffs and you can't have any sort of really fun bench celebrations whatsoever.
Look, I love WOB, but like going to the, oh no, it's going to ruin things after one call in the preseason is ridiculous too. I mean,
Well, if you want to go to a preseason game and you want to cheer in whatever way you want to cheer,
except
I
on the
highly
court.
recommend you buy your tickets from Game Time because you can save up to 60% on those tickets when you buy last minute. It's great for procrastinators out there or anybody who's super spontaneous. We looked up on the Game Time app just a few days ago, and I think we saw tickets to the upcoming the third preseason game for the Suns here. Oh, now it's $2 because it was $5 the other day, wasn't it?
The first time, it's $2 now. You can get in Footprint Center next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Suns Kings, $2.
Lindsay wants to take all of you to the game on her dime. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
Did I say that?
Yes.
That's what you implied.
Oh.
I heard that. I heard that
was
as
the
well.
implication, no?
The link to purchase your tickets is in the chat.
For you.
And it's in the description of this show. And you could get it for just $2. Or if you take Saul's advice. So Saul said last time we talked about this that if you wait until the actual day of the event, you get them even cheaper. So I think when we looked at Sunday's preseason game, the day of the event, they were $1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $2, but if you want to wait until you can maybe see if you get it for $1, I'm sure you absolutely can on the Game Time app.
You want to see some bad football but enjoy some good weather? $14 to see Washington at ASU on Saturday.
Okay.
We also have a very important question in the chat.
What is the question?
The question is, Saul, which friend's character is Lindsay?
Janice.
It depends on the
No,
day.
she's not Janice. She's not Janice.
It depends on the day.
No, I 1,000,000% feel like she's Rachel.
Like who?
Rachel.
I don't know. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, it's a good thing. I mean, Rachel's like Rachel, and everybody loves Rachel, and then Rachel has like kind of like a snappy side to her, and there's
She can
no
be a brat.
there's no alias to her, so that's your Chelsea.
She's got some Monica to her, too. That A-type personality.
smidge.
That, you know,
Smidge, yeah.
like when it's like, hey, can we get a rundown? What's going on with the show? Like, what's the format? What are we talking? That's Monica.
This is true. What about you guys? Who do you think you guys would be?
Oh, I'm Chandler.
You're Chandler?
Whoever said I was Gunther, I'm coming to find you, all right? That's not cool, bro. Not cool.
Oh my gosh. Brian said I'm Phoebe. I don't mind that. I like Phoebe.
Phoebe's weird.
That's why I like
You're
her.
not weird.
Well,
No,
sometimes,
no,
yeah.
Thomas said Phoebe
no.
too.
No, Lindsay does things that have like eccentric
is Joey.
tendencies, but she's not. Yeah, I'm definitely Joey for sure.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh my goodness. Okay. The last thing I want to tell you guys about before we get into all of our next topics is the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And right now, if you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use that promo code PHNX when you sign up and you bet just $5 on any NFL team to win, and they do, you're going to get $200 in free bets. They literally want to give you free money, you guys. And if that's not enough, right now, everyone can boost their winnings with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. So right now, for every leg you add, you can boost your winnings up to 100%. I'm telling you, they literally want to give you money. So take advantage of it. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use promo code PHNX. Again, promo code PHNX on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And have even more fun when you watch football, when you watch basketball, when you watch hockey. Whatever sport it is that you are watching, you're going to have way more fun if you've got some skin in the game on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I mean, don't just take my word for it. We've shown you videos of Espo and Saul and Shane literally freaking out about a bet hitting in the first 3 minutes of a game. Like, it's a blast. It's so much fun. So just do it. Again, use the promo code PHNX. And just a little disclaimer, minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
So we've always wondered who Hello is.
Oh, did
And
we
may
figure it
have
out?
We may have gotten a little hint
Ooh.
because Hello said something about Lindsay was weird in her LA days. That's got to be somebody you know, right?
This is true.
Ooh.
Did I tell it? Did I say on the show that I've lived there?
You've briefly talked about it, but
barely.
not enough to where they would have that. By the way, also a couple people in the chat saying I'm Costanza from Seinfeld.
You're
That is
definitely-
spot on. I
Yeah,
will
you're
accept
definitely
that
George, for
100%.
sure. Yeah. And thank you, Steven. I
What
hope
did
you're having a
Steven
nice day
say?
too.
Aw, that was sweet.
Brian, Hello is actually Pat Bev. That would make my day. That would be
awesome.
amazing.
That would be hilarious. Oh my gosh. One of these days we're gonna figure it out. Hello. Emma's on the whole we're gonna put Emma on the IP thing.
Yes.
We're gonna put Emma on it.
Emma's got to figure out who Hello
Yep.
is.
This is gonna be fun. Okay. So we have all been patiently, or trying to be patient anyway, in this waiting game for a resolution around the Jae Crowder situation.
God, yes.
Last week, we got news that the Cavs were interested. Today, we're hearing now that the Heat and the Bucks are also interested. So within the NBC article that was shared around social, they quoted Zach Lowe, who said, "The Bucks have internal interest in Crowder as that Tucker replacement after getting into the recent Jeremy Grant and Bojan Bogdanovic discussion, sources say. They will search all season for one more piece." He also said, "The Heat have interest in Crowder too," sources say, "but finding matching salary is tough until Dwayne Dedmon, Caleb Martin, and Victor Oladipo become trade eligible in the winter. Martin might start, and the Heat are optimistic Oladipo can play a huge role." Do you think these two teams actually are players in this? And is there anybody off the top of your head that you're like, oh, maybe this guy could be helpful for us?
Look, if they didn't have to wait till January 15th to complete a deal, Victor Oladipo's name really interests me. I think he could be a great shooting guard with that bench group, be the kind of guy that can score for you, low risk, high reward kind of deal that you could find there. I just don't think you're sitting on Jae Crowder till January 15th to make that kind of deal with the Heat.
That's the thing, is I don't think they're going to wait till January 15th, because once you get to January 15th, if you still have Jae Crowder on your books, you're probably looking for a bigger fish.
That's what I'm saying. You may as well wait
in combination
a few more months
with other players. So if it doesn't get done somehow, some way, then it's not going to happen. January 15th.
The only other name on the Heat's roster I was looking at it and trying to make deals work is Duncan Robinson, but that's 4 years. I think it's 14-15 million per. Like, it makes no sense from a long-term perspective for the Suns. So I think the Heat are out. Milwaukee, there's not a lot there that interests me. And do you really want to hand Milwaukee a piece that could make them that much tougher in the playoffs if you wind up meeting them again in the finals? I don't know, especially if the return's not something that's really going to help.
You can get Kemba off the scrap heap. He's the same thing as Oladipo.
Oladipo.
Hola.
Thomas said, or we could pay Jay. I feel like that ship has sailed.
Don't buy him out.
I think they're implying give him an extension that he's reportedly wanted, and that's why this whole thing happened. I think that ship sailed. I think even if the Suns came to Jay and were like, fine, we'll give you an extension, I don't know that you can fix what's been done.
No.
So Manuel Romero with a super chat has a really good question, and I thought about this last night. Speaking of draft picks, what's y'all's thoughts on Wembanyama? I hope I said that right. And the tank race. Do you think the Suns can capitalize on that somehow? I actually do, and here's how. Draft picks become capital, and if you can leverage draft picks, let's just say you're a bottom 5 tier team, and you have the draft capital you might be able to parlay those picks into a better player from said team that's trying to tank to help benefit you, so they have more capital to try and either, if they don't get the number 1 pick, come up with a package to get the number 1 pick. So there's some leveraging that could happen as well. So the Suns are not tanking for him, but I think they definitely can use that as leverage to try and get a piece that maybe they need.
Paging Sam Presti, please pick up the orange courtesy phone.
SGA is available, please.
I just say, seeing the photos, watching highlights, it's still really crazy, but seeing the photos of the wingspan and just the height on that guy is insane.
It's they created him in a lab.
Yeah, I saw one the other day or yesterday maybe, I think, and it was 2 bodies between him, and you could still see his hand on the other side of the 2 bodies, and it was just insane. Oh, sorry.
I really want
Damn, Linz.
Did I just scuff your shoes?
Damn.
My bad. I got really excited.
Lindsay is having a bad day.
Well, you know how I feel, so I feel you. I get it. Did I scuff mine? Probably.
I hope you did.
I have a weird desire to see him wind up in San Antonio.
Yeah.
to see what Pop could do with him in a final run for Pop. It's a weird obsession. I don't want to see Presti get rewarded for whatever the shit is he's been pulling for the last few years. I'd like to see Pop get him and get a chance with him.
I like to see him go to the worst team in the East and just leave him there forever.
You know what we can all be happy about right now?
That the show's almost over?
That too, but also that at least we're not the only fan base that has a portion of our fans who are freaking out about preseason games. Because the Mavs also are freaking out about...
No, they're not freaking out. They're absolutely trying to torch one of their own players.
They are so angry. Do we have these screenshots that we can put up here? They are literally so mad at Christian Wood right now for preseason play. And while I do understand, like, you know, we get a little upset too at times, at least it's not this bad.
Some of these comments. Christian Wood, dead ass, the worst player to touch the Wilson. Christian Wood, this is why you are benched. Why is Christian Wood acting like a point guard? Bruh. Dwight is a better defender than Christian Wood. Wood stinks on defense, LOL. And finally, Christian Wood talking trash to the Thunder bench just to be missing point blank layups. Laughing emoji.
Okay, so you could take those same statements, put in Landry Shamet in place of Christian Wood, and it would sound like you on a regular basis.
No, because I've never felt like Landry Shamet was like such a valuable part of this team.
That's fair.
So like Christian Wood's supposed to contribute a lot to this Mavs team this year. But you know, once again, just shows that those fans are kind of clowny.
They're just so angry. Which, I mean, I guess I get it. I would probably be angry too.
Just wait till game 1 when they're all up in our mentions. They remember where we're at. You know who your daddy is.
You guys, just mentally prepare yourself now for the comments that are going to come from that game, regardless of the outcome.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Just know the comments in that post-game show are going to be insane. So bring your best work, y'all.
Imagine if DA tortures Christian Wood. The Mavs fans are going to lose their shit. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. So... But at least we know we're not the Mavs, and that's a great place to be in my book. Okay, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Are we still going to do the paying up the bets tomorrow, you guys?
Yes.
This is your reminder that you're supposed to wear an ASU shirt and pick something for Espo to...
I thought I wore an ASU shirt already, but I'll wear a different one.
I thought we had discussed this on Monday or Tuesday.
I have to wear ASU stuff too because of the
he volunteered
failure I had. So
it's also because he's an ASU football fan.
No, so
he probably has some shit in his closet already.
It's because freaking Sean couldn't figure out what he wanted to do for a bet before the show, so I just threw it out there. So
no, you also said, "Oh, since Saul didn't do it,
well, that too.
I'll just do what
you decided to stand behind the computer and taunt us while the show was going on.
I taunted Sean and told him that I paid my bet.
Okay, so are you doing it or not?
Yeah, I'm going to wear the shirt.
Okay,
he's already
you're both wearing ASU shirts tomorrow.
You got the food that you're
and you're supposed to eat food that Saul picks, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Oh, I have it already ready to go.
So just so you know, this is your reminder. I'm not going to remind you again.
Okay, thank you.
Don't forget. Y'all,
you can remind us tomorrow when you wake up at 11:45.
Please check back in with us at 2 p.m. tomorrow so that you get to see even more shenanigans on some fun Friday on this show. Until then.
I guess.
Aren't you excited to join us tomorrow?
I'm so done.
We've come full circle.
You can follow me on Twitter, Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at _Bookman. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, get me out of here.
I really hope you're all having a better day than Lindsay. Ahoy, ahoy.
Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the PHNX Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though, Lindsay, Gerald, Espo. Saw past the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand me, I'll always rep the family. Rally in the valley like Dan G, no plan B. Always on the job, my team